So I want to start today with a story. And that story is about a camel rider in the middle of an Arabian desert. And his name is Ahab. So this camel rider is in the middle of this desert, and he has been lost for days. And he realizes that he is likely going to starve to death or die of dehydration. And as he is coming to this realization, a voice comes out of nowhere and says, "Ahab, take your camel 3 miles east and there you will find an oasis." Ahab is sure that he is hallucinating, but he might as well give it a try. He's probably going to die anyway, might as well give this a chance. So he turns his camel to the east and starts to head that direction. So as he goes along, after a little while, the voice comes down a second time and says, "Ahab, when you get to the valley with the oasis, I want you to drink all the cool, clean water you can drink and eat all the fruit and nuts and berries you can eat. But before you go to sleep, I want you to fill your pockets with skill stones. You will see many of them in the valley." Ahab thinks this is crazy. Why would I weigh myself down in the desert? But just then, his camel sees a glimpse of the oasis and starts to break into a trot and then a gallop, and they're both smiling and excited. And sure enough, there's an oasis, and Ahab jumps off the camel and drinks a whole bunch of cool, clean water and eats fruits and nuts and berries in this beautiful space and cannot believe his good fortune. And when he's had his fill, he climbs up the side of the valley on the ridge, and he lays up against the tree where he can see the entire valley in front of him. He's about to go to sleep when he remembers, oh yeah, the voice said something about skill stones. And he looks around the valley and he sees thousands and thousands of stones. And he says, "That's strange." And he goes, well, the voice was right about the oasis. So he reaches down, he picks up a single stone, a smaller one, puts it in his pocket, and goes to sleep. The next morning he wakes up, looks around the oasis, happy to be there again, knowing that he'll be able to get water and food in order to make his journey home. But he looks around the oasis and he sees something different. Wait a minute. There are no stones. They're all gone. And he thinks that's strange. He reaches into his pocket to see what happened to the stone he picked up. And instead of a stone he picks up, he looks at it, he has a diamond. And he's like, oh my gosh, yes! And then he goes, oh no! He could have picked up so many more. So this metaphor is very similar in our lives. Many of the lessons that we are exposed to feel like rocks. Like, why should I pick this up? It's interesting, but why make it part of me? Why pick this thing up? We don't realize how many of these lessons end up turning into diamonds in our lives when they hit the right situation. We've covered powerful topics and skills, much like the skill stones at the oasis. However, learning these is not enough. It's all about applying these skills. What really is the challenge is learning to apply. Learning how to manage emotions is not hard. Managing your emotions consistently is hard. Learning how to make relationship deposits and resolve conflicts, that's not very hard to learn those skills. What's hard is consistently making those relationship deposits and solving conflicts. Learning how to prioritize your life, to put your big rocks first, to schedule, and to focus, that's not hard. Learning those skills isn't hard. What's hard is living a life with your priorities first, sticking to schedules and staying focused. But it's just exactly that these things are challenging that make them worth doing. It's got to be hard to really make it worth it, because if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. We want these things that really make us grow. My grandmother used to always say, and she lived to be 104, ever ripening, never rotting. I love that image. to be constantly in a state of growth and never in a state of decay. I love that. This is the concept of picking up those skill stones. To take them with you and think about them and reflect on them and see if you are using them in your life and how you could use them better. And then looking back at them again to remind yourself of what they are. I encourage you, as you leave this EQ oasis, so to speak, pick up those skill stones and take them with you. I thank you for letting me be part of your journey. It's been a pleasure to support so many students. And I promise, if you pick up these stones and take them with you, eventually all of them will turn into valleys of diamonds in your life in critical moments. I know you'll do great things. I wish you all of the best. And I thank you again for allowing me to be a part of it. Best wishes.